and we're going to play the Mozart Sonatine, the first movement.
Can't hear this.
Can you hear me?
You can't hear.
Move, when you're talking, move outside
Am I going to have to play farther out too?
No, probably not, but you could use the mic to let
We're playing a Mozart piece.
Oh, I see it.
I'll count you in a couple of minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, begin.
Portion of Tchaikovsky's second movement of Tchaikovsky's Symphony No. 5, very popular horn solo. And this has been reduced to fit in with the piano. So here we go. Warm up.
Okay. The introduction, please. Now.
he can talk.
Have someone waiting there. I think she wants to
Oh.
go.
Hi, Don. Hi, Don.
What a surprise!
I was looking for you.
I didn't expect to see you here. I was waiting on Charles.
Oh, come on. It's great to
Wait,
see you.
and what's
I
up?
get so excited when I see you.
Oh, gosh, me too.
Yeah, I wrote your name in the sky, and the wind blew it away. And I wrote your name in the sand, and the waves washed it away. But I wrote your name in my heart, and it will forever be.
Yes.
Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you. Let me hear you whisper that you love me true. Keep the love lights burning in your eyes, so green, brown, blue. Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you.
It comes good. And here is our next performer, Charles Evendorf.
Cartwright, our town's richest citizen, lives up in the big white house up on the hill there. Long Main Street, all the stores, and there's the grocery store. Next to it, Mr. Morgan's drugstore. Everybody in town manages to look into those stores once a day. The second special place, over 1,000 miles, just over 1,000 miles west of here. Dorothy lived on the Kansas plains with Uncle Henry, a farmer, and Aunt Ann, the farmer's wife. Their house was small. For the lumber to build it had to be carried many miles by wagon. 4 walls, floor, roof, made one room. And in that room was a rusty-looking cooking stove, a cupboard for the dishes, a table with 4 chairs, and the beds. One for Uncle Henry and Aunt Ann, and a little one for Dorothy in the other corner. There was no cellar, except a small hole dug in the ground called a cyclone cellar, where the family could go in case one of those great whirlwinds arose, mighty enough to crush every building in its way. It was reached by a trapdoor in the floor, from which a ladder went into the small, dark hole. The third special place is over 3,000 miles east of here.
sitting on the bank next to her sister, having nothing to do. Once or twice, she peeked into the book her sister was reading, but it had no pictures or conversations in it. What use is a book, thought Alice, without pictures or conversations in it? So she was considering, as well as she could on a hot day, when she was very sleepy and feeling stupid, whether the trouble of getting up and picking daisies was worth the pleasure of making a daisy chain. When suddenly, close by her came a white rabbit with pink eyes. Nothing very remarkable in that, nor did Alice think it very much strange when the rabbit said, oh dear, I am going to be too late." Afterward, Alice thought she might have wondered at that. But when the rabbit took a watch out of its waistcoat pocket and looked at it and hurried on, Alice started to her feet, and it flashed across her mind she had never seen a rabbit with a waistcoat pocket nor a watch to take out of it. With a burning curiosity, she ran after it and arrived just in time to see it go down a large rabbit hole under the hedge. In a moment, down went Alice after it, never for a moment considering how she was going to get out again. Don, those are the three special places where wonderful stories were about to happen.
Thank you, Charles.
Remember those three women, ladies we saw? And we told them they were there.
Oh, and you told them you were Mr. Hackle?
I did.
I saw you there one wonderful day. You took my heart and threw it away. That's why I asked the Lord in heaven above, what is this thing called love? I saw you there one wonderful day.
Dan Prince, and Alden Rickey. I will recognize now our pianist, Danya Prince. Our associate engineer, Doug Kirk. Well, the treat we have next, a reading by Catherine Patterson, renowned and beloved writer, primarily of children's and young adult books, and 2013 winner of the Laura Ingalls Wilder Medal, recognizing her, quote, substantial and lasting contribution for children's literature and paving the way for ever more realistic writing for young people.
Well, I don't know if I can follow the accent this afternoon, however, wonderful afternoon, thank you. Oh, just very nice. Oh, some of you are still in the workbook that I wrote called Preacher's Boy. And my father was a preacher. My husband's father was a preacher. I was married to a preacher for 51 years. We had 4 children who were all preacher's kids. But any resemblance to any person living or dead is really coincidental. Mark, the first chapter begins with, and I'm not reading the entire book, you'll be glad to know, how the trouble began. On Decoration Day, while everyone else in town was at the cemetery decorating the graves of our glorious war dead, Willie Beaner and me, Robert Burns Hewitt, took Mabel Cram's bloomers and put them up the flagpole in front of the town hall. That was the beginning of all my troubles. It wasn't that we got caught. In fact, I've often thought since, that would have been the best thing in the world. If we'd been caught, Pa, who is a preacher and therefore has to be in favor of repentance, would have made us both apologize to Mabel, brought me home and given me a good hiding, or as good a hiding as Pa can manage. He never can put his heart into horrible punishment, a weakness often lamented by Deacon Slaughter. In the rest of the town, there would have been a few days' worth of people cutting their eyes sideways at us. But in a couple of weeks, say by the middle of June, the whole affair would have been forgotten. As it was, by the middle of June, the boys, well, they act like boys even if they are the size of men, the boys that hang around the livery stable were still speculating as to who had had the nerve to do it, in broad daylight, mind you, and then slapping their knees and snorting like horses. I still think Mabel herself is due part of the blame. Everyone returned from the cemetery that morning to discover a foreign object streaming just below Old Glory. It was quickly evident that the object fluttering in the spring breeze was a pair of female unmentionables. So Deacon Slaughter and Mr. Weston, being leading citizens, conferred and decided that the said unmentionables should be lowered and handed over to the sheriff for decent disposal. But when those bloomers got to eye level, Mabel Cram had no more sense than to shriek out like a banshee, "They're mine!" Whereupon she fainted dead away. From that moment, chaos took charge and rumor reigned. And it wasn't just the loafers at the stable. The whole goddamn town was aflutter. Mothers were keeping their daughters indoors, except for Mabel's mother, who had bundled her off on the afternoon train that very day to visit her grandmother in Waterbury until she recovered her equilibrium or the culprit was found and punished, whichever came first. With all the fuss, there was no way Willie and me could confess. If we'd been caught, which by all rights we should have we would have been tanned and sent to bed without our supper, and the whole thing dismissed as a schoolboy prank, which it was. I swear.
You can swear.
I swear. We were just trying to keep up with Tom and Ned Weston. 2 weeks before, the Weston boys had put a green snake into teacher's lunch pail. It made a lovely to-do. All those girls screaming and putting their hands over their eyes and jumping up on their desk. Miss Bigelow didn't scream. Miss Bigelow, I'm going to hold it, maybe you'll behave. Miss Bigelow? Miss Bigelow? Miss Bigelow? Where are you, Miss Bigelow? Miss Bigelow? Thank you, maybe you better sit here. Miss Bigelow didn't scream, but you could see she wanted to, and was barely keeping herself in line. You could see in her eyes the war between screaming and staying calm, so she could quiet those hysterical pearls. But I'm getting.
What keeps going on? Want me to open?
But I'm getting off the subject. Tom and Ned never got caught. Only Willie and me saw the whole thing, and we aren't squealers. Tom and Ned were well aware of it. It made them act even more superior to us than usual, which me and Willie could not tolerate. So we figured that the only thing we could do is think up something even more outrageous and get away with it. Only we'd be smarter than them. We'd not even let Tom and Ned see us. Then they wouldn't know for sure we'd done it. They'd just go crazy wondering over it. See, if they knew for sure, then they'd have to think up something even worse and not let anybody but us know it. And then Willie and me would be obliged to think up something still worse, and so on, until we were all four dead or too old to care, one or the other. Now the hardest part, I explained to Willie, is that we can't brag. Not by the flicker of an eyebrow. You understand? No, he said. How do you flicker an eyebrow? It's a manner of speaking, I said, grim as a school marm. Well, why would I want to brag anyway? You wouldn't normally. But the thing is, human nature being what it is, we're going to be fair busting with the desire to hint to the Weston boys that we were the ones who pulled this off. The actual crime was easy to commit. On Monday, the 29th of May, which was the day before Decoration Day, we watched, hidden in the tall grass, while the Crams-Hyde girl hung out the wash behind their house. She was careful, as all women are, to hang the bloomers and other unmentionables in between the other things, but we were watching sharp. And when we saw the maple-sized pink bloomers came to the line, we took note. Write it down, Private Peter, I said, right between the brown skirt and the pink shirtwaist. Private? Who's private? Oh, Willie, somebody's got to be private or it ain't a scouting mission. And what are you, Robbie? I'd rather fancy captain or major, but I can tell from the look on Willie's face that neither of those is likely to go down too well. Sergeant, I said. The sergeant has the private. Write down so. Well, write it down in your head. He gave me that kind of patient look he gives when I went up to pretend we're fighting in a war. Well, can you blame me? I wasn't born when they fought the Great War to end the oppression of slavery, and when they were sending troops to avenge the Maine and free the Cubans from Spanish tyranny. I was only 9 years old. I don't think there's ever going to be a war I can really fight in. I can't write nothing down in my head. My whole forehead's turned to granite, trying to keep my blamed eyebrows from flickering.
In unison, and I know a lot of people know the words. It's called Loch Lomond, and if you do know it, please feel free to sing with us, especially if you know the refrain, okay? I better get the refrain in order. There we go. So let's go. My own bonny banks and my own bonny grace, where the sun shines bright on Loch Lomond, where me and my true love forever want to gay, on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. Oh, we'll take the high road and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland before you. For me and my true love will never meet again, on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. The bluebirds sing and the wildflowers spring, and in sunshine the waters are sleeping. But the broken heart it can taste every spring, though the wave may cease from their greeting. Oh, you'll take the high road and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland before you. But me and my true love will never meet again, on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. Oh, you'll take the high road and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland before you. But me and my true love will never meet again, on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. Really it's the Vermont song called These Green Mountains Are My Home, and they were written by a woman from Plainfield. I think her name was Diane Martin.
Diane Martin.
Diane Martin. And if you go through Plainfield and you're headed towards Marshfield, you can see the Martin Bridge that they fixed up. Which is really a beautiful park there. So if you ever feel like you want to take a great picnic lunch there, it's wonderful. It's just a lovely place with a lovely stream and places to sit. I think you'd love it. Okay, so I'm going to actually kind of stand next to Margaret and sing with them. These green hills and silver waters are my home. They belong to me and to all our sons and daughters. May they be strong and forever free. Let us live
green mountains are my home. See